Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1984 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Orioles today is Randy O'Neal, whose record is 6-9 with a .487 ERA, and pitching for the Tigers is Jeff Robinson, whose record is 2-3 with a .322 ERA. Okay, we ended up winning the first game of the series yesterday, 6-1. A solid pitching performance from Brian Kelly. He is now a 10-game winner for us, our first Tigers 10-game winner of the season. And we have closed to within a half a game of the Red Sox. So we are still fighting for first place. I have my reservations about how this may go. We have 5 days left, as you can see here, before the end of the month, which is the trade deadline. And so we do have to consider maybe making a trade, not necessarily to improve our roster, but maybe to get rid of a player or two whose contracts are up at the end of the year. And one of those players is Jack Morris. And I know it seems absurd to trade Jack Morris in the middle of a pennant race, but we will not be able to afford Jack Morris next year one way or another. Now, I don't have a problem if we win the World Series. Like, if we lose Jack Morris at the end of the year, I'm okay with that. We just call up a young player or make a trade for a number 4, number 5 starter from another team, maybe as a free agent that we can afford. But we have 5 days to decide whether or not we're going to trade Jack Morris. And so when today's game is over, we are going to take Jack Morris and we're going to put him on the trading block and see if there's any players out there that may be worth it for us to make a trade for, that will help our team, lower our payroll, and maybe give us a reason to trade Jack Morris despite being in the hunt. So let's go ahead and get today's game started. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and or subscribe to the channel. Give me a like, give me a subscription. That's always a nice thing to do. Now we've got Jeff Robinson on the mound today. He is our number 5 starter. He's been solid, although seemingly incapable of getting a win. All the bullpen is available except for Dave Rozema, who pitched 2 innings yesterday. He has been lights out since we moved him to the bullpen. He's pitched 10 innings in a row without giving up a run. Kind of amazing. Here's our lineup versus Randy O'Neal. We have to give some people some breaks today. George Brett will be on the bench. Doug Baker will be in there at third base. Willie Wilson will get the day off. That means Kevin Bass will be in center field. Okay, let's go ahead and do the lineup rundown for the Baltimore Orioles. Looks like the same as yesterday. Batting leadoff. Playing left field is Kevin RHOMBERG. Batting second at second base is Tom HERR. Batting third and catching is Ray Smith. Batting cleanup and playing first base is Jim TRABER. Batting fifth in right field is Bob Pate. Batting sixth at third base is Wayne KRENCHICKI. Batting seventh and DHing is Alan Bannister. Batting eighth in center field is Rick Manning. Batting ninth is the shortstop, Bob Bonner. Okay, let's take a look at Jeff Robinson, making his 12th start of the year. He is 2-3 with a .322 ERA, 44 strikeouts and 67 innings pitched. Opponents are batting only .218 against him. That's solid considering he's not giving up many walks. Fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 50%. His splitter is his best pitch. It's rated an 88. A fastball at 83. Overall rated an 86. The 22-year-old right-hander. Arbitration eligible at the end of the 86 year. Coming off a loss to the Red Sox, maybe his worst start of the year. He gave up 10 hits in 7 innings. that amounted to 4 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. I guess it's not terrible. The 10 hits is unusual for him. Let's take a look at our defense. We have behind the plate is Kennedy and everybody else in their regular positions with the exception of Doug Baker playing third base today. He has made an error over at third despite making 13 starts. So a better defensive player than Brett, and I think that if we get more if we get another shot to be in first place, we have to start considering bringing Baker in as a defensive replacement late in the ball games. Also Bass out there in center. Here we go, Kevin RHOMBERG leading off against Jeff Robinson. RHOMBERG, fly ball into center, and Kevin Bass will make the catch. 1 out. Next up is Tommy HERR. HERR's gapping it into left center field. GIBSON manages to track it down. He had to go a long way to get that one. Out number 2. And Ray Smith, the catcher in the number 3 spot, walks. You don't want to walk Smith to get to TRABER, that is for sure. TRABER's got all the power in this lineup. 25 home runs, batting .257. And he gets another one. So that walk had to happen for that home run to occur. It's 2-0 Baltimore on Jim TRABER's 26th home run. I do believe that is the league-leading 26th home run. And Bob Pate will strike out. Oh, no, ground ball to third. Usually there's a strikeout right after a home run like that. Nonetheless, it's an out to third. We go to the bottom of the first. Tigers are down a pair of runs. Batting leadoff for the Tigers today is Lou Whitaker at second base. Batting second at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third, playing first base is Greg Brock. Batting cleanup and DHing is Kenny Smith. Batting fifth and catching is Terry Kennedy. Batting sixth in center field is Kevin Bass. Batting seventh in left field is Kirk Gibson. Batting eighth in right field is Glenn Wilson. And batting ninth is the third baseman, Doug Baker. Okay, Randy O'Neal, he just came off the IL, and his last start was against the Tigers, and it was a good one. He's making his 19th start. He's 6-9 with a .487 ERA, only 58 strikeouts in 122 innings pitched. Opponents are batting nearly 300 against him. He does have one complete game this year. Fastball tops out at 93 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 47%. He's got two decent pitches, a fastball elite level at 94, a splitter at 85, overall rated at 85. The 23-year-old right-hander is arbitration eligible at the end of the 86 season. And there's his last start versus Detroit. He's made 3 this year against the Tigers. He went 6 2/3, giving up 5 runs on 4 hits, getting the win. Back on June 5th, he got the win, going 8, giving up 2 runs. And way back on May 4th, he took a loss, giving up 6 5 2/3. Take a look at the defense for the Baltimore Orioles. Bob Pate out there in right field. Below league average, we know Ray Smith has got an 82 arm. So we could pick our spots perhaps against him. Otherwise, a pretty solid defense. Sweet Lou leading off. He's back in the leadoff spot with Wilson on the bench today. Hard hit ground ball to Bonner. Whitaker out at first. 1 down. Trammell up next. Trammell goes to right field for a base hit. Gets his average back up to 280. We're not going to go for 2. 281 in fact. So Trammell on first, 1 down. Greg Brock, he batted 9th yesterday. We got him back in the number 3 spot today. He did hit his 15th home run, and here he hits a ground ball double play. Oh no! Brock will beat it out. They can't turn it. That doesn't really make any sense. I mean, you got a 95 and an 89. I don't know. I'm assuming the shortstop was covering there. So Trammell out at second. Brock is on first for Kenny Smith. Smith has been pretty bad lately. And base at the left. That's probably where we're going to leave it, right? We don't ever seem to come through in the clutch. It is Terry Kennedy, though, who has the second most RBI on the team. First and second, 2 down. Here's TK. And there's out number 3. So, yep, this game is over. That we now know that to be true. So we'll just play it out. Krenchicki with a comebacker. I'm fairly certain we will probably not give up another run. Considering Robinson's ERA is right around a little over 3 coming into the ball game. Maybe he gives up one more. It'll probably be unearned, but we may not score today. 2 quick outs, and Manning strikes out. That's Robinson's first of the day. We go to the bottom of the second. Here's Kevin Bass leading off. Bass flying out to center. Gibby goes deep. That's his 13th on the year. 2-1 Baltimore. Let's take a look at Gibby. Yeah, he's got, essentially his lowest OPS of his career as an everyday player. 2-1, here's Glenn Wilson. We gave him the day off yesterday. He's just, his average is down to 233. He has got no power, and he doesn't get on base. But he's got that 96 arm in right field as Baker strikes out. So the Tigers do get a home run by Gibby. His 13th. Cut the lead in half and go to the top of the third. 2-1, Baltimore. Bonner. Ground ball to second, 1 out. RHOMBERG with a grounder to Brock. Brock made an error the other day. Something he doesn't do particularly often. And HERR with a ground ball to second. And we go to the bottom of the third. With TRAMMELL missing some time due to injury, I don't know. I'm assuming he will qualify for the fielding title, but he's got a .990 fielding percentage at shortstop. So either he's having like a all-time career shortstop season, or the second half of the year he's just going to start making errors at the pace of George Brett at the beginning of the year. Here's TRAMMELL. He's 1 for 1 today. Line drive to third. KRENCHICKI with the catch. And Greg grounds out to second. Top of the fourth inning. Only 1 hit given up by Robinson. It was the 2-run blast after he walked the previous batter. That was Smith, actually, that walked. And it was TRABER hit the home run. 3-1 count to TRABER. I don't want to jinx us, but I can't remember the last time an opponent had 2 home runs in a game. It's possible that I might have blacked out from anger and just not been able to recall it, but TRABER flies out to center, then PATE pops up to second. Here's Kenny Smith. He had a single in the first, and he gets a second hit of the day. So leadoff man is on. We'll hit and run here. 1-1 count to Kennedy. Yeah, good job. That'll get Smith over. Smith on second for Kevin Bass. Bass has been a good surprise this year, batting .285 with 5 home runs. Oh, hits it to the wrong bag. Yeah, so we're definitely losing today. There's no point in even setting our sights on a victory. We will just have to play it out here. When those things happen, you know it's pretty much over. That's going to be an error. Yep. So here comes the unearned run. Well, the wild pitch, so that wouldn't happen unless there was going to be a run scored. Oh, he strikes him out. All right, well, we're staying in it. I mean, Robinson's only given up one hit today. Too bad we don't have anybody in our team who can be clutch anymore. Randy O'Neal with his first walk. You know what? I'm going to have Whitaker steal. I mean, I know he's going to be thrown out, but we're going to lose anyway. Maybe our only hope is to take a unrealistic shot at stealing second. And if we come through, maybe that'll propel us. Nope. We're still in the shitter. And then they, oh man, I thought that was going to get through. Another walk from a pitcher who doesn't walk anybody. Let's go around the horn with Baker. No. Five to nothing. 5-1. All that was a 2-out rally. Because of course, why would the game give you a shot? I think what I'm going to do is before the end of the year, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look and see how many times the team that scores first wins. I bet you it's 99.5% of the time. So yeah, this game was over before we even had a shot. Kennedy will get a sac fly. So I am I mean, games like this make me just want to trade everybody on our team. I do appreciate Don T and Julio L and Freddie, of course, commenting about their ideas for trades and what their philosophy is. I had requested some insight yesterday, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to think it through. You know, when I created this specific sim for the Tigers, as I've stated many times, the basic idea was to try to get the Tigers to the World Series in the same time frame as they did in real life, but the game doesn't operate that way. The game will throw up hurdles that you can't predict. And I guess, if you're someone who, like me, wants to stay loyal to the players who actually help the real Tigers get to the World Series, that could be a detriment to your own team. I certainly would never want to trade Jack Morris. If this game was fair and realistic, which it's not. If this game was built on any sort of, statistical reality, Rupert Jones would be on this team and he would be really, really good. But that's not how the game works. It's a piece of shit. You know that. But I just have that loyalty to Morris, which really prevents me from wanting to make a deal to get rid of him. Yeah. This game is already just makes no sense. But the right thing to do is to get rid of Jack Morris. And that might be at the, sacrifice of, losing the playoff opportunity. Whitaker. I mean, how can Whitaker not score with 2 outs from second base, down 3 runs? Like, you're telling me he wouldn't score? So we're not going to send him, but this is an automatic out right here. Yeah. It's an automatic out. I don't know how this game is so horrible. I guess we'll bring in Comstock. This game's over. We haven't pitched Kami in a long time. Doesn't matter. Pete Ladd comes into the game. Pete Ladd can't be the closer. It's still got to be Bruce Sutter, right? Again, this game is so dumb. It may have actually put Pete Ladd in there as closer over Bruce Sutter. Tigers lose 5-2. All right. Let's just do our little run through, and then we'll take a look at Jack Morris. All right. So we're back. Conveniently, we've lost when they won. I mean, no surprise. Yankees have won 6 in a row. Great. Good job, game. Baltimore still hanging in there. Let's take a look at headline news. Brainiac baseball, Daily Beat. Indians beat the Brewers 12-4. A game that means absolutely nothing. Transaction. Let's see here. Mike Wick. So the only new one is Eric Wilkins. Oh, man. You got to feel bad for the Indians. At least Wilkins made it 20 starts this year. He's never been able to have a full, healthy season. His health is 65. And and the sad thing is he's probably, based on his rating, good enough to come back next year. He'll be back for spring training. Okay, let's take a look at the, if we were to put Jack Morris on the trading block. There he is. So, I mean, there's all kinds of problems here. One is Jack Morris is making too much money. 2, his contract's up, so he would have to go to a team that would be willing to re-sign him. Otherwise, they would lose him, right? So there's 2 obstacles in front of us already. Not to mention that his overall rating is an 84, which is not great. If we look at his scouting, I mean, he's never been good in our sim. Like, you can't count 1979. That's the season that this game supposedly is built off of. So he had a 4 ERA, a 4 ERA, a 4 ERA. He had his best breakthrough year last year, and this year the game is punishing him with being injured and not being able to get a victory. He did have back-to-back complete games, and he does seem to be pitching well at the moment, right? So let's go ahead and say any players get offers. Let's see what is on the table for us. Oh, he's got a no-trade clause. He won't approve a trade to any team. Oh, shit. Well, there you go. So that's the end of that. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's just anticlimactic. But it's it's fine. So let's do this since this game was garbage anyway. Let's take a look at our sortable stats here for just a second. So we're going to spread it out like butter. All right. Excuse me. These 9 players are all players who are going to have their contracts up at the end of the year. Now, 6 of them are going to arbitration, so we will be paying them more money one way or another. And these 3 are going to be probably lost to free agency. I will not be re-signing Jack Morris. We cannot trade him, and we cannot re-sign him. Dave Smith, we could trade him, but I don't, losing him without trading him is fine. And Keith Comstock will re-sign him to a cheap deal. His overall rating keeps going down, but he gets the job done, so who cares? So Glenn Wilson, in an arbitration year, he is playing horrible. I mean, look at his WAR. Barely above 1, and that's got to be thanks to his defense, right? I bet his offensive WAR is the B WAR, batter's WAR, is probably horrible. It is horrible, no doubt about it. So we'll probably get him at a good price, and we'll keep him on because he could be good again. The Brockness Monster, I mean, if this is who he is, he's got the highest WAR of any player that's going to contract. I don't know if he'll be worth whatever the arbiter decides, but I don't know. Tom Hankey, we have to re-sign him. Whatever is fine. Dave Rucker, I don't like to pay relievers, so he will probably we'll make a decision on Dave Rucker, but maybe it's a sign and trade. Frank LaCourte, we don't care. Larry Sorensen, we don't care. These are people we just signed. So to be like AAA contracts. Okay, so that's where we sit. It looks like now we will definitely be stuck with Jack Morris till the end of the year, and we will not sign him. So we're going to lose him for nothing. He does have a no-trade clause. Player of the game, I want to say nobody. But we will give it to Kirk Gibson because he did hit a home run. Tigers made 2 errors. It was Sweet Lou and the catcher. Did not lead to any unearned runs. That's kind of amazing. Jeff Robinson takes the loss. The bullpen was okay. Randy O'Neal gets the win. He's 3-1 against us. He's got almost half of his wins have been against the Tigers this year. Pete Ladd gets his 4th save, which is just stupid as hell. All right. That's going to do it. We're going to come back tomorrow with Game 3 of the series. Until then, everyone, have a great day.